No, Roberto?
No, Roberto.
Yeah, I feel like it's got perfect attendance.
I know.
Like,
A call to order.
I'll do a roll call.
Yes, roll call, please. Here.
Keith Tran.
Here.
Roberta Castillo absent. Joel Green.
present.
Rose Mesa.
Present.
Akia Sanders absent. And Michael Scherzer absent. We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. We go to item number 3, public comment. I don't see any public comment. So I'm going to go to item 4, approval for the agenda for possible action. Let me see the agenda. So let's see the agenda. Is where I'm going to do the.
I, Jarrell Green, move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Tran, second.
Is this the one when I do the motion?
It'll be in those individual items, so 7.1 and 7.2
Okay,
is
good.
where you'll move to continue those, if that's what you'd like to do.
Yes, thank you. So let's go to vote for approve, first by Gerald and second by Titran. And
Just do a voice vote for the record.
okay, so yes for me, yes for Elvira,
Yes for Jarrell.
Yes, Tran.
Yes for Rose Vega.
so it's been a voice call and it's being resolved, it's been passed. Thank you. We're going to go to 5.1, consideration, discussion, and possible approval to the minutes for Sparks Equity and Inclusion Advisory Board for meeting in May 14.
Tran, move to approve minutes of the Sparks Equity and Inclusion Advisory Board meeting of May 14th, 2024 as submitted.
I, Jarrell Green, move to second that motion.
Okay, so it's been moved by Titran and second by Gerald Green. And let's see, maybe we can vote.
Nope.
No, okay, we're going to vote by voice.
Exactly.
And Elvira say yes to approve.
Tran, yes.
Green, yes.
Rose, yes.
Result for this is passed. Thank you. Today we have a presentation.
Actually, your presentation is item 7.3. Okay.
I've got all four. Allison McCormick for the record. Madam Chair, if we could move on to item 7.1, there aren't any presentation items on tonight's agenda.
Yeah, we're going to have consideration 7.1, discussion and possible election. Oh, that's the one? I need to, you talk first, why do the amendment?
I'll just give a brief overview of what that item is, and then you can make your motion if you'd like.
Okay, yes, Allison is going to do a presentation of a 7.1, consideration and discussion of possible election on Equity and Inclusion Advisory Board Chair for one-year term through June 2025.
Thank you, Chair Diaz. Again, for the record, Allison McCormick. The rules of procedure for the Equity and Inclusion Advisory Board provide for a one-year term for both the chair and vice chair, so items 7.1 and 7.2 respectively on your agendas for this evening. And requires that the board elect the chair and vice chair for the upcoming term at the meeting in June. There are obviously only 4 of the 7 of you here tonight. The chair has expressed a desire to continue this item to the next meeting in the hopes that more of the board members can attend. And I will leave it up to the board to take action and proceed as you so choose.
Yes, as Alison mentioned, I would like to consider a motion to move this voting for next meeting, since we have some people missing to this meeting, and some people were not really aware of the voting. So we get the opportunity, so we were more prepared for the voting. Everybody, all 7 of us voting for the new chair and the new vice chair for this board. Anyone want to do second comments?
For the record, Tran, I would like to just go on and elect and be done, and then move forward.
Green for the record, I'm okay with just electing.
Right now?
Yeah.
Rose Meza, for the record, I am okay with either or option.
So I believe Chair Diaz has made a motion. Cindy, is that motion clear enough for you to toss up on the screen? And see if we get a second. Could you restate your motion, Madam Chair?
Yes, I would like to have a motion to move the vote for the next meeting. Some members of this board are not here. Roberto Castillo is not here. Kay Cassandra is not here. Michael Seller is not here. We're 7 members and 3 are out, so I would like to move to the next meeting to get the opportunity to have the decision made for all of us if it's possible. Thank you.
If you'll give Cindy a moment to get that typed out, we can see if there's a second. I know that's a shorter version, but does that fairly restate your motion?
Yes. You would like to second?
Oh, yes, Rose Meza, I second the motion.
Needs to have, we need to vote now?
Yes.
Okay, let's vote, guys. We're going to have the same problem as before. Guess. Okay. Okay.
What was that?
It's tie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a tied motion is a failed motion, which means no action has been taken. So if there's an alternative motion that someone else would like to put forward on this item, that would be kind of the next step.
I, Rose Meza, as I think I am the deal breaker, we might as well just vote now then, so we could continue the motion, considering that half of us didn't agree with the original motion.
Is that correct? Is that what you're referencing?
So you would need to make, or someone would need to make a different motion. The motion that was on the floor has failed, so it's essentially done. But if there's a different motion that you would like to make, or any of your colleagues would like to make, now's a good time.
Tran, for the record, question. Oh. Yeah, okay, it's kind of showing up. So can I just put forward who?
Yes.
Does each, does the chair need to be one motion and the vice chair need to be a separate motion?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I do think if you wanted to, state what you expect to make for a second motion for the vice chair, you could certainly do that as part of the discussion. We're
Okay.
agendized for both, so.
Okay. So sorry, I'm just trying to get through this quickly and efficiently. This sounds kind of weird, but I can't move to.
Say that
I
again?
can't move to elect myself, can I?
Yes, you can.
Oh, I can.
Yep.
Good, let's do it. Okay, I move to elect myself, T-Tran, as the Sparks Equity Inclusion Advisory Board Chair for a one-year term through June 2025. And?
That would be your motion, but if you want to make a comment about who you'd like to, who you
Okay.
might move to make the vice chair.
And I
you
would
certainly
also
could.
like to move to make Akia Sanders the vice chair. This is what happens when you don't show up to the meeting. You get voluntold.
So just the motion on the chair at this point is what is on the floor. It's still showing Elvira as the mover and Rose as the second. Okay. I'm guessing that that's the old motion that failed, so let's just do it old school. Would you mind reading that motion that's up again, just?
Sure, it sounds weird. Can someone
have-
else read it? It sounds super weird. I will, but I move to elect myself, T-Tran, as the Sparks Equity and Inclusion Advisory Board Chair for a one-year term through June 2025.
Is there a second to that motion?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Jarrell Green, for the record. Is there anyone else who would like to run?
I would like to keep running as a chair of the Sparks Equity and Inclusion Advisory Board meeting. And I'm thinking, well, we don't have two votes, one for the chair and then another vote for the vice chair.
Yes, there will be a separate motion
Okay.
for vice chair.
Okay.
Are you waiting on my reply and Gerald's reply?
Someone either needs to second or the motion will die for lack of a second. So,
Okay, Rose Meza second the motion.
then Cindy, do you want to do a voice vote? Will that be easiest?
Yes.
All right.
Tran, yes?
I have a question.
Sure.
This motion is to make Titran the chair?
Yes.
Okay. I don't, I say no, no.
Sorry, it's hard. Like, I love tea. I'd pick Elvira. Pick both if I could. Can you come back to me? Is that possible?
For this motion, I abstain. I know it's silly, but I have a different motion actually, or a move. I move to elect.
Okay, so this motion is what's on the floor right now. So we've got to finish voting on this. one
Sorry,
before-
can I ask a question and
Shoot.
as we vote? Jarrell Green, for the record. At the end of the day, I just want to see what's best for the city of Sparks, for the individuals that we're trying to represent. I firmly believe in T. I firmly believe in Elvira as well. Are they allowed to communicate real quick? So maybe we could have a little discussion and then maybe everyone get on the same page and we vote. I don't know if that's allowed.
We can take a recess, but we would need to be
Okay.
very careful about serial communications because it is
Yeah, I
an
don't-
open meeting.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
I would recommend that everyone vote.
just vote. Okay.
And we do with the result what the result is.
Okay.
Is abstaining not an option for my vote?
Um,
Does it just make it as complicated as?
That does make it as
Yeah,
complicated as
okay.
possible.
Well, I then move to elect no on this motion.
Okay, so you're a no.
I think we're at a stalemate either way, so, yeah. But if I say abstain, then it's a no, or if I say yeah, it's still a no, right? Because we're tied.
Right.
No matter what.
Okay, could I make a motion?
Sure.
Okay, so I greatly appreciate Elvira and T-Tran for, their hard work and efforts as board, as the chair and vice chair, but I think it'd be really nice to have perhaps new members take up the position. So I move to elect Darrell Green as a Sparks Equity and Inclusion Advisory Board Chair, and then the Vice President with Akia Sanders.
Okay, so a new motion for chair for Jarrell Green. You got that, Cindy? Okay, is there a second?
Tran, I'll second that.
Thank you both. That wasn't what I was expecting at all. But thanks, Rose. Thanks, team.
Any additional discussion? And I'd
I know it was like so different from what we originally had planned, right? But I figured, new faces.
So I would suggest a voice vote then, since our system doesn't seem to be cooperating as we would like.
Tran, yes?
Everyone. Yes.
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 All right, we have a chair. Moving on to the vice chair item, unless you would like to take the helm.
This is your next time.
I want to make a motion again, since the vice chair, we don't have all 7 people. Can we move this decision of vice chair until the next meeting? We don't like to vote for somebody who's not even here. So it would be nice to move this for the next meeting. Thank you.
To continue this item to the next meeting, the vice chair. That's the motion, yes?
That's my motion,
Okay.
yes.
I second that motion.
Any additional discussion, comments? Yep.
I
So,
think you have to click first, right? And then me.
oh, yes. Okay, so now we're going to vote again, or by? I don't know, it's working. So,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right. So we will move the vice chair election to the next meeting. Moving on to the rules of procedure then, item 7.3, or 7.3. The existing rules of procedure for the board require the board to review and consider changes to those rules once each year at the June meeting. Staff has not recommended any changes, but the board can certainly request changes. If you would like to request changes, I would suggest identifying what changes you'd like to make, kind of in general terms, and then continuing this item to the next meeting for staff to draft those changes and approve those at the next meeting. I am happy to answer any questions.
I do have a question. Why last year we didn't vote for this? See, this supposed to be, we do this every year. Did we skip last year?
I would need to research that. If we skipped it, it was unintentional.
Thank you. Okay. So we go to 7.4 now?
If there aren't any changes that anyone would like to propose, no motion is needed on 7.3. If you would like to propose changes, I would need at least some feedback, if not a motion. And it doesn't look like there's any feedback. So,
No.
okay.
So,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Since no changes, we go to 7.4, the
Great.
presentation. Thank you, Alison.
Again, for the record, Allison McCormick. At the last meeting of the Equity and Inclusion Advisory Board, there was some feedback about not knowing the real direction for the board, and also, recognizing the time commitment that's involved. So I have provided some agendas for the past several meetings of Reno's Human Rights Commission, for possible ideas for future board activities. I also wanted to throw out the option of meeting less frequently. Currently, we meet mostly once a month, canceling a meeting here and there. I don't want to lose engagement or momentum by, not meeting as often, but also recognize that all of your time is valuable, and perhaps we should be a little more liberal with canceling meetings when there's not concrete business to conduct. So this item doesn't necessarily require a motion, but can certainly have some discussion on future activities of the board, as well as the timing of meetings. With that, I am happy to answer any questions or open the floor to you as the board members to discuss what you'd like to see moving forward.
Jarrell Green for the record. I'm in favor of potentially shifting how frequently we meet. I believe when I initially signed up, after speaking with Donald Abbott, I was under the impression it would be maybe quarterly. So I'm fine if we move forward quarterly. The hope would be at those quarterly meetings, we would just have more to be able to dig more in depth with, and to be able to have meetings where we felt like they were genuinely productive.
Rose Meza, for the record, I agree with you. I think it'd be nice to consider a change in meeting frequency. So quarterly would be efficient, I feel, considering that I know some of us have expressed concerns in the past about, having to manage, life balance, work, and so on. So I think that would be good. And then attendance at community events, I think is something that we've always have expressed an interest in. So I think prioritizing some more of that would be great. I know, for example, the Juneteenth event is coming up, and I think that would be great to perhaps be able to, have a few of our members go out to that, and so on.
Regarding the Juneteenth event, the city will have a table there. If any of you are interested in attending, I can connect you with the couple of staff members who will be staffing that table, if you'd like to go say hi.
Okay, thank you.
Alberita Diaz, by the record, I really like this summary that you provide to us. I recently went to City of Reno to a meeting now, it's super big. Things takes time to develop and empower the community. So I think it is more, it's easy and we can do every quarterly. I'm okay with that, but just need to kind of keep growing. And also I'm agreed to not just, if we can be able to be in events for more community, that there are events. Sometimes I go to events and I see city sparks and you guys have empty spaces. That would be nice that you guys ask us so we can be part of it, so we can be helpful to be engaging people from the community. Thank you.
Rose Meza, for the record, I have a question. So I'm reading here that members of the board may participate in the meeting using Zoom video conference. So in case, is this imply that if a member can't make it in person, they could join via Zoom?
So we were developing this board kind of when the pandemic was still in full swing. So that's probably some outdated language that we ought to remove. This room is not set up to accommodate Zoom. So we may need to make some corrections there.
Okay, I was just going to say that I think that would be a really good idea for those that perhaps have the time, but they don't have the way to get here or, et cetera. So, I mean, I would still think it'd be nice to have the Zoom option, and perhaps see if we can get the room set up to provide that. I know we sometimes are live, and so I'm sure that maybe we could look into having technology accustomed to that somehow. But if it's not possible, then I completely understand.
We can certainly look into it.
Okay, thank you.
For the record, Tran, just a question. How often does Reno meet?
They are roughly quarterly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then did we find out if the county had one as well?
They do not.
They do not?
Right.
Oh. Okay, thank you.
Green for the record. Allison, thank you so much for compiling the Human Rights Commission agendas. Just in looking at it, it seems like they typically get 2 to 4 items per meeting. And I think one of the other intents, I think, of this board is to help connect other groups within the community with one another. I think that echoes something that Roberto was talking about last time. So I think it could also be beneficial in that sense, as opposed to having one group come in. There are multiple and they can hear what one another is doing.
Okay,
No.
any other questions? Are we done with these, guys?
I don't necessarily think we need a motion on this item, but I certainly appreciate your thoughtful feedback, all of you.
Thank you so much, Alison, for your good work. Thank you. We're going to go to item 8, comments for the committee, requests for new future agenda items.
Green for the record. I believe we said the survey results will be ready at the next meeting. Is that correct?
Yes.
Great.
Any other requests for future agendas? I think the survey is really important, and listen and reading, we can get things on action. So we're going to move to item 8.2, commit members' announcements. Any announcements? Any announcement, Rosanna? 8.2, committee members' announcements.
Other than, Rose Meza for the record, other than last time, I think it's a nice friendly shout out to, again, UNR Med for having the student outreach clinics in person and also in person, of course in person, but they provide free healthcare services, but also the rural outreach clinic. So if anyone is tuning in, I don't see our screen up, but if anyone is tuning in, we have one coming up June 22nd in Silver Springs, and it provides general checkups, vaccines, and so on. So if anyone is interested in that, then we'll be having it there.
Any other public comments, members? Okay, I have an announcement. We're going to have a Taco Fest. We have that before, but it's coming back, and it's a community event, so please, you like tacos, community. The entrance is free, so let's have tacos for this summer. Thank you. Okay, we can go to 8.3, staff announcements.
I don't have any announcements. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then item number 9, public comments. I don't see anybody in the public right now. I know a lot of people are on Facebook and YouTube. But thank you so much. And we're going to make this adjournment. Thank you.
I thought your phone was my phone. I'm sorry.